Welcome to the Sleep Dives channel. We're jumping right back into the workbook for atomic habits, and this time we're tackling the fourth and final law, make it satisfying. Now this one is absolutely crucial. I mean, it's the thing that really decides if a new habit sticks around for the long haul or just fades away after a week.
So have you ever wondered about this? Why is it so ridiculously easy to fall into bad habits, but building good ones feels like pushing a boulder uphill? Well, it really just boils down to a massive mismatch between our ancient brains and our modern world. Think about it. Our brains are basically wired for instant gratification. Our ancestors needed that reward right away. Find food, eat food, see a threat, run away. That wiring is still running the show today. But now we live in this delayed return world where the payoff for going to the gym or saving money might be months or even years down the line.
And this right here is the heart of the problem, isn't it? You look at bad habits, they give you that instant hit of pleasure, that immediate feel-good moment, even though we know the long-term cost is, well, painful. Good habits, they're the complete opposite. They usually demand some kind of sacrifice now for a reward that feels ages away. So when faced with that choice, our brain is always going to go for the instant pleasure. It's just how we're built. The secret then is learning how to work with that programming, not fight against it.
Right, so how on earth do we do that? Well, the workbook gives us this incredibly powerful yet simple principle that basically governs everything we do. You can think of it as the master key to unlocking real, lasting consistency. And here it is, the cardinal rule of behavior change. It's so simple when you think about it, right? If an experience feels good, feels satisfying, you're naturally going to want to do it again. If it's unpleasant, you'll avoid it. The first three laws we talked about are all about getting you to do the habit once. But this rule, this is the one that gets you to come back and do it tomorrow and the day after that.
And that, right there, is the real magic of this fourth law. It's not just about that one action, that one trip to the gym. It's about closing the loop. It's about wiring your brain to actually crave the next time you get to do it. So if you want a good habit to stick for good, you've got to find a way to feel a little bit successful, a little bit satisfied, the moment you finish it.
So what's the solution? The workbook calls it immediate reinforcement. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We have to bolt on a small, instant reward to our good habits. This little hit of satisfaction acts like a bridge, It connects the effort you're putting in right now with that far-off reward you're aiming for. It gives your brain that little dose of pleasure it's looking for, and that's what makes all the difference.
And what's really cool is that this works even when you're trying not to do something, a habit of avoidance. The trick is to make your avoidance visible and rewarding. Let's take the example from the workbook. Say you want to cut back on those pricey coffees. You set up a special savings account, maybe name it Dream Holiday. Every single time you resist the urge to buy that coffee, you immediately whip out your phone and transfer the £5 you would have spent right into that account. Suddenly, you're getting an instant win. You can literally watch your holiday fund grow, which makes the act of not doing something feel, well, incredibly satisfying.
Okay, so besides just adding external rewards, there's another, maybe even more powerful, way to make a habit satisfying. And that is simply tracking your progress. Honestly, just seeing that you're moving forward, seeing those little wins add up day after day, that visual proof is one of the most potent forms of immediate gratification you can get. Now, the reason habit tracking works so well is that it's this brilliant little hack that actually leverages the other laws of behavior change all at once. First, it makes your progress obvious. You've got that visual cue, that string of X's on a calendar. Then it makes it attractive. Nobody wants to break the chain, right? That streak becomes its own motivation. And finally, it's just so inherently satisfying. I mean, who doesn't love the feeling of crossing something off a list? It's like a tiny daily victory. And really, what this all does is shift your focus. Instead of being obsessed with some huge far-off goal like, I need to lose 20 pounds, you start focusing on the daily process. You get that little hit of dopamine every single time you log your workout. It provides you with that concrete, visual proof that you are showing up, that you are becoming the person you want to be, one small action at a time.
But let's be real for a second. Life happens, right? Nobody is perfect. You're going to get sick, work is going to get crazy, and eventually, you are going to break that chain. It's inevitable. And this is where that all-or-nothing mindset can just be a total killer. So what's the game plan for when you do, inevitably, slip up?
The rule, and this is maybe the most important one in the whole book, is incredibly simple. Never miss twice. That's it. Think of it this way. Missing one day is just an accident, a blip. But missing 2 days in a row, that's the start of a brand new, unwanted habit.
The goal here isn't to be perfect. It's to get back on track as fast as humanly possible. Seriously, how quickly you recover is so much more important than trying to never fall off at all.
All right, so let's get practical. How can you actually build a plan around this? How can you start tracking and making your habits genuinely satisfying, like starting today?
Okay, here's your simple 3-step plan. First, and this is crucial, don't try to track everything at once. You'll just get overwhelmed. Pick one key habit to focus on, just one. Second, choose your weapon. It could be a wall calendar, a fancy app, a simple notebook, whatever works for you. And third, use habit stacking to make it automatic. Link the tracking to something you already do. For instance, after I put my running shoes away, I will immediately put an X on my calendar.
Now, as you're doing this, just watch out for a few common pitfalls. The biggest one is that all-or-nothing trap we mentioned. If you miss a day, don't just throw in the towel. Remember the rule, never miss twice. Also, try not to get too hung up on just the numbers, like what the bathroom scale says. If the scale isn't moving, but you've got way more energy or your clothes are fitting better, that is real, meaningful progress. You have to look for those qualitative wins too.
So, to wrap it all up, the secret here is to stop fighting your brain and start working with it. Add a little bit of immediate reward to your good habits. Use a tracker to make the progress feel good in the moment. And most importantly, if you fall off, don't sweat it. Just make sure you get right back on the horse the very next day.
And at the end of the day, it's important to remember that all these things, the rewards, the tracking, they're just tools. They're the incentives that get you going. But as the workbook puts it so brilliantly, what keeps you going for the long haul is your identity. Every time you track that workout, you're not just ticking a box. You're casting a vote for being a healthy person. Every time you transfer that money, you're casting a vote for being financially disciplined. And that feeling, that slow transformation of who you are, that is the most deeply satisfying reward you could ever ask for.